Our Superfoods project will be discussing sea moss. My name is Brittiany Meredith.
And my name is Mackenzie Turner.
What is sea moss? Sea moss is a type of sea algae or seaweed called Condis crispus. There are various types of sea moss pertaining to its color. There are red, purple, and straw-colored sea mosses. By the time we see sea moss, it has been bleached in the sun. There are over 12,000 types of seaweed. It is a spiny plant. It can be found growing along rocky coasts such as the northern Atlantic and Europe. Currently, Maine is one of the largest producers of seaweed in America. Farming seaweed is the fastest growing aquaculture sector. 3 fun facts about sea moss. Sea moss contains a whopping 92 minerals out of 102 minerals found in the human body. Just to name a few, there is calcium, magnesium, vitamin B, phosphorus, potassium, iron, zinc, copper, and manganese. An estimated 70% of the world's oxygen comes from seaweed and algae. Asia accounts for 2 million tons of seaweed every year. Specifically, Japan is one of the largest consumers of seaweed. There are studies it has increased life expectancy in Japan. Benefits of sea moss. Sea moss has been shown to support weight loss. There is a compound found in many seaweeds called fucoxanthin. It shows promise in helping to break down and metabolize fat. Sea moss benefits gut health. Sea moss is rich in dietary fiber and oligosaccharides such as carrageenan. Sea moss helps digestion included in gut health. Carrageenan is the thickener component which sea moss is used to thicken recipes such as soups and teas. Another benefit of sea moss is immune health. Due to the pandemic, immunity has become an important topic. Sea moss is rich in minerals, iron, and antioxidants. It is taken to prevent infections. For example, potassium chloride, a mineral found in sea moss, helps reduce body inflammation. It also helps shorten colds or infections when taken. Benefits. Another benefit of sea moss is thyroid health. The thyroid contains the largest concentration of iodine in the human body. Iodine is essential for thyroid function and hormone regulation. Sea moss is rich in iodine, although you have to be careful with portions of sea moss because it can lead to metal poisoning because sea moss is so rich in a lot of those metal minerals such as magnesium, manganese, iron, iodine, etc. Precautions when taking sea moss. Excessive iodine intake can lead to goiter, thyroid cancer, hyper or hypothyroidism. The goiter is the enlargement of the thyroid. Other possible side effects are fever, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, and possibly a burning sensation within the mouth, throat, and stomach. Another precaution when taking sea moss is poisoning from excessive amount of toxic metals. This can be called arsenic, mercury, and lead.
Okay, some contraindications of taking sea moss. There's 2 main groups that need to be careful. The first one being women who are pregnant or breastfeeding. Since there are very few amount of studies on sea moss, there's too many unknowns and it's too unsafe because of the high iodine and toxic mineral and vitamin element for women who are pregnant or breastfeeding to take sea moss. The other group of individuals who should be aware when taking sea moss are those who are taking blood thinners. Because sea moss has an anticoagulant property, it can cause a lot. It it can cause you to be high risk for internal bleeding or to bleed more than you need to because of this. So the forms of sea moss, there's 4 kinds. There's raw, which is when it comes out of the ocean. There's a gel form, which you can make, which takes a couple of days depending on how the consistency that you want it. Or it can be a dried or powder. And lastly, the easiest I guess you could say is that it could be or could come in a supplement or a capsule. Okay, accessibility. So the main component when looking at sea moss is where you get it. Now before talking about where you can buy it, the contents like the minerals and vitamins that we have talked about before are greatly impacted by the environment in which the sea moss comes from. So depending on where you get it in North America or in Northern Europe, the environment of the sea greatly affects its nutritional value. The region, the temperature of the water, and the minerals that are in the water greatly impact what the algae carries itself. So with this in mind, when you look at wanting to purchase sea moss, the easiest, like the new era that we live in, it would be to buy it on Amazon, which you can usually buy it kind of dried in a package, and a tablet would be the easiest, / a capsule. Another place that you can get it would be at your local grocery store or markets. But this is a little bit different depending on where you are. If you're on the East Coast, you will have a greater likelihood of buying it at your local grocery store or market compared to if you're more inland. Here in Carbondale, because of the growing infatuation with sea moss, you can get it at co-op in a couple of forms. It just kind of depends on where you are and how many in the population in which you live in, and just kind of where you have been, like I've said a couple of times. So here's a video of us going to co-op to show you what it looks like and where you can get it in the store.
Here is sea moss in the gel form. It is refrigerated. Here is Irish sea moss in the loose form. Here is sea moss in the capsule form.
Okay, so integrating it into your diet and in exercise. So, like we also said earlier, when you're taking sea moss, it's known to support weight loss, and it does that because of its thickening agent. It helps prevent overeating and causes you to feel full, so then you don't eat as much as you may have beforehand. So when implementing it into your diet, there's the supplement. You can add powder or the actual moss into a smoothie to blend it up. You can add it to tea, create a tea from it. You can use it in soup, stew, baked goods, or add it to other foods like yogurt or cereal. Because of the thickening agent that we've mentioned earlier, it's usually greatly used in smoothies and stews to help thicken it up. It's really easy, and a lot of people on social media use it in smoothies and to brew it in tea. That's the predominantly used methods for consuming it. When it comes to prepping sea moss, It just depends. If you just put it into a smoothie or tea, it's really quick, really easy. Or if you're just taking a supplement, you just take it with some water. But the gel form can take a while because if you make it yourself, that's the only thing that could take a day or two unless you buy the gel form pre-made. When trying to see how it affects you overall, to notice a difference, it's said that you'll notice a difference in energy within a couple of days, but you won't notice the real big changes for around like 3 to 6 weeks when taking CMOS. So, mentioning CMOS gel, we're going to talk about how you could make your own recipe for CMOS. So, all you need is CMOS and spring water and maybe just a jar or a container to hold it in the refrigerator. So, first step is that you want to clean the moss and run your fingers through it to remove any trapped particles or anything. Just make sure it's clean. Then you're going to place the moss in a bowl or a container, and then you're going to cover it up so it's soaking in spring water, just any kind of water that you want to use. Then you're going to cover it up and put it in the refrigerator for 12 to 48 hours. And this is why I said that it can take a while, because depending on how long you leave it in the fridge, just depend on how you want it to be. Then once you're done with that, you can drain the water, rinse the moss, and then just rinse it with water again. Then you're going to add the moss into a blender with 3/4 to 1 cup of water and blend the moss to your desired texture. And then you're done, and all you got to do is put it in the container and continue to refrigerate it where it'll be good for a couple of weeks.
Next, I started my day with CMOS tea. Due to the various positive minerals found in CMOS, such as iron and B12, it's known to give a kickstart of energy and then boost your immunity. So I started my day around 8 a.m. and I started off with a simple recipe of CMOS tea. I did 1 cup of boiling water and 2 scoops of CMOS, loose dried CMOS that I got at Co-op. You can see that it's getting that seaweed loose texture, and I did feel a lot of energy throughout the day, but I will say I probably will implement this in a smoothie or a yogurt. The taste was a little hard to get down because it kind of tasted like seawater. So I think next time I'm going to try a different recipe with it, but I definitely felt the energy from it, and I felt positive after it.
Yeah, one of the common things were that they always recommended that you added it to something else.
Yes. Some positive benefits as well. It's good for hair, skin, and nails. And I know maybe I should have tried adding some salt to it. I hear that helps with the taste of it as well.
So that is our presentation on CMOS.
Yes.
All right, thank you.